Hey y'all, Khaki here. Love from Southeast Texas. Okay, so yesterday I made a video and I never watch my videos after I make them because I wouldn't like any of them and would probably delete them before they ever even made it to YouTube. So I just never watch them. And I had some other plans for yesterday afternoon, so I was outside busy working in the garden and um it just kept eating at me to watch the video last night when I came in. Watch the video. I'm like, no, I don't want to watch the video. And over, and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to watch the video. So this morning when I woke up, it was after me again. Watch the video. Watch the video. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll watch the video. Well, when I sat down to watch it about 6 or 7 minutes in, the whole thing started going haywire. And I've never had any issues with my equipment. Like, nothing like that had ever happened before. But I immediately knew what it was. When we moved into this house, we moved in on January the 1st. Uh, During the first week that we were here, we quickly determined that we had an extra resident that we hadn't been told about. Now, my landlord had told me that the girl that lived here was a hoarder and that the house was a mess. And, but they came in and totally redid everything. They remodeled everything. New cabinets, new appliances, totally new paint job all on the inside, new paint on the outside, new roof. I mean, this place is immaculate and beautiful and so much bigger than the other place where we lived. I mean, we were thrilled. But within the first week, my son had heard scratching on his wall, and I passed that off. I was like, maybe it was one of the cats outside or something, no biggie. And I thought at one point that something had moved. Like, I didn't see anything physically move. I knew that something was in one position, and when I looked at it again, it was in another. But again, I'm like, oh, I just remembered wrong. Until my neighbor, there was a mother in law's quarters behind my old house. There is a mother in law's quarters attached to this house. So I asked my neighbor to come along with us. I love her. She's a very dear spirit. And she was having like a lot of issues in her portion of the house. But we are all spiritual people. We know what to do and how to help in situations like this. So that's what we did. The garage was a different story. It was like super active out there. Um, and as we started to clean out the garage, because there was a lot of stuff out there, the girl had just left behind. Well, one of the things that she left behind was her mother's ashes. And so I just assumed that that was the reason why the spirit was still attached and upset. So, in waiting, and I am still waiting for the daughter to see if she's going to come back for her things. Um, I just made a space for mom, like I put her wedding dress and the little girl's wedding dress in a bag and put that with her and some wedding photos and her Bible, her ashes, and I just made a space for mom to be there. And I know that this family was Catholic because I also found a set of rosary beads out in the garage. So, we did the cleansing and everything has been going fine. And here we are, April the 20th, and I sit down to make a video and it went haywire. And not only that, After having looked through some of the photos that we found out in the garage, because we were curious to see what the house used to look like before the remodel. And it isn't the lady, it was her father that came through on the video yesterday. And I mean, very, very clear. Very clear. And so I did some mad dash researching this morning to find out, whatever I could. And I knew about purgatory, but uh, this one guy brought up the fact that maybe this person is hanging around because he wants somebody to pray him out of purgatory. So that's part of the reason why I made this video, is to ask you to help me do just that. Help me pray for this family, if you would please. Uh, you know, the father, the daughter, and the little girl, the younger daughter, I think all could use some prayer. And to those that have passed over to the other side of the veil, they need help to continue on. And so I just wanted to make a plea to you all to help me pray for them, or send good thoughts, or light an incense, or whatever you do. And the other reason was because in the video that I made yesterday, I had showed these books that I feel it's important. Um, this one is the first one. This is the Strong's Concordance. This is the one that's kind of like a dictionary for Bible words, where any word that you can think of that may be a portion of a Bible verse, you can look it up in this book, and it'll tell you chapter and verse in every place that that word is mentioned in the Bible. And then I had showed you all my Bible that I've had since I was 14 years old, and the markings and the notes and so forth and so on that I had taken throughout the years during my study. And where I had had the house fire, this was laying on the kitchen table, and it had a book laying on top of it, which of course that book was destroyed beyond repair, so I had to get another copy. This was the book that was laying on top of my Bible. And I'm hoping that the glare isn't such that you can see this. And if you're interested, you can look and see if you can still find a copy. It's a very old book. It is called Babylon Mystery Religion, written by a man by the name of Ralph Woodrow. Very old book. And it just so happens that that book is about the Catholic religion. Synchronicities abound. So, anyway, the house has been cleansed. The really remarkable thing about yesterday's video is that the distortions, it just kept going down. It just kept going down. And that is kind of how I've been feeling lately, just like dragged down, very heavily laden, to the point that I was even having physical pain. But I have a tendency to ignore pain because it happens to me a lot, changing of the weather and this and that. So I just hadn't really paid any attention to it. But after I cleansed the house again this morning, all of that was lifted and lightened, and the physical pain immediately went away. So I'm glad to have been able to help again, and I will help again and again until these poor souls find their way home. So if you wouldn't mind helping me with that, it would be greatly appreciated. So I thank you for that. I bid you love, light, and peace. Thanks.